Ever wondered how to get both high availability and full hardware utilization from your FortiGate firewalls? In this video, we will explore FortiGate virtual clustering, what it is, why you would use it, and how to configure it correctly without pulling your hair out. Stick around until the end. We will also share some quick troubleshooting tips to keep your HA cluster healthy, and as always, we will be going through the lab to explain you how to configure a virtual clustering, how to troubleshoot virtual clustering. Hope you will like this content. Let's begin. FortiGate virtual clustering explained all HA with VDOMs. FortiGate virtual clustering. Before virtual clustering, you need to know what is FortiGate cluster or FortiGate HA cluster. So when we talk about FortiGate HA cluster is a set of two FortiGate firewalls which are grouped together to form a HA cluster. Under HA cluster, one of the devices is active this is the standard HA. One of the devices is active and other device will be passive, or it can be a active and active device, okay, or it can be active and active device. When we say standard HA is this, where you can either utilize one of the box and the other will be just simply working as a passive without any utilization on the box, or it can be an active where both the box can be utilized or can be handling the traffic together. Here redundant, but only one active when you are in active passive mode. Now let's say you want a scenario, or you have a scenario where you have multiple VDOMs. So multiple VDOMs means different firewalls within a same firewall. So this is like V1, VDOM 1, V2, V3. Same way, when it is in HA, here also you will have V1, V2, V3. Okay. When you have V1, V2, V3, now you want both of these devices to be utilized while one VDOM active on this firewall and V2 active on this firewall, or V1 and V3 active on this and V2 active on this. So this can be achieved by using virtual clustering. Under standard HA, we only have one active device and one passive device, but for virtual clustering, we can have both the devices to be handling traffic for a specific VDOM. So when you go to virtual clustering, you will see two devices. This might be active and this is passive, or we call it as primary and secondary. This is secondary. Even when this firewall is secondary or passive, still it will be able to handle the traffic for a particular VDOM and it will be acting as active for this VDOM. So under virtual clustering, one VDOM will be active on first firewall, other VDOM will be active on second firewall, while the actual physical hardware will be still a active passive or primary secondary device, but from a traffic handling perspective, one VDOM will be active on one and the other will be active on the second firewall. So this is what the virtual clustering is. Standard HA and virtual clustering. Virtual clustering relies on top of standard HA when we are configuring. So what will happen? First we will configure a standard HA and then we have to enable the virtual clustering to move these VDOMs into specific devices. What is the advantage of this? So maximize performance, plus keep redundancy. How? Because both the device will be in a primary secondary mode, but maximize performance by having different VDOMs active onto the different devices. When we say maximize performance plus keep redundancy, this is now clear. Now, problem with the standard HA. What is the problem with the standard HA? In standard HA, only one firewall is active at a time. Second unit remains idle. Good redundancy, but wasted performance. Because in standard HA, as I mentioned in the previous slide, one device will be active and other will be passive. So what you are doing or what we are doing is good redundancy. This is a good redundancy. As soon as this device fails, this will take over. But wasted performance of this device. So we are wasting the performance or the resources or the hardware, power, everything for this just by keeping it idle, keeping it as secondary device. So to improve this or to utilize both of them, we can have these devices under virtual clustering and we can have different VDOMs active on different units. Now, what is virtual clustering? I have already given you an idea in previous discussion. Let's talk more in detail. VDOMs distributed between two FortiGate units. So what we do is VDOM is distributed between two FortiGate units. Both devices process traffic simultaneously because one of the VDOMs will be active on first firewall while the other will be handling traffic for the other. High availability is still maintained because they are still in HA, and even if one fails, the VDOM will shift to the other device. Now let's say this is an FortiGate having VDOM 1 and VDOM 2. VDOM 2 is active on this device. Now, when the secondary device is joined into the virtual clustering, the VDOM 1 is active on the primary and VDOM 2 is active on the secondary device. So this is what happens in case of virtual clustering. Still the device will be in primary, secondary or high redundancy mode, but they will be handling traffic for individual VDOMs. We have to assign these VDOMs, like which firewall will be active for which virtual domain. We are the one to configure it, and we have to configure it as per our requirement, whichever device you want to be handling the traffic for that particular VDOM. How it works? Uses FGCP protocol with heartbeat links as usual, like normal or standard HA. Does the same. Each unit owns a specific VDOM. So out of 4 VDOMs or out of 3 VDOMs, each unit owns a specific VDOMs. Means the active who is handling the traffic or active for that particular VDOM. If one fails, other unit takes over all VDOMs. Let's say the first device is failed, then second device will take over all the VDOMs and will be active for all the VDOMs. For the configuration, what you have to do is enable VDOMs on both units. You know, if VDOMs are not created already. So if you don't have VDOMs, then virtual clustering does not apply. Virtual clustering comes into the picture or is applicable only if you have virtual domains on your firewall. Without virtual domains, virtual clustering is of no use and you have to rely on standard HA of active passive or active active mode. But if you have virtual domains, then virtual clustering is applicable and good for you, good for the organization, good for the design of the devices. Second, configure HA as active passive if not an existing HA setup. That means if your device is not an existing HA setup, you have to configure the device in active passive. Assign VDOMs to virtual cluster. So you have to, once this HA is configured, you have to assign the VDOMs to the virtual cluster and then verify the configuration sync. So these are the main 4 steps for the configuration of virtual clusters on a FortiGate firewall. Impact analysis for production. When we do any activity, any kind of changes on a device in an organization, what is more important is the impact analysis. Your management is going to ask you what will be the impact of this activity or this change, how is it going to impact my production network. So these answers are very important before making any changes. When you talk about production impacts, first is which MAC is used. Which MAC is used because if your neighboring device or the switches does not have the correct MAC entry for the FortiGate, that may be a problem. So to understand that, we need to understand how the MAC address is used in the virtual cluster. FGCP/HA means an FortiGate HA cluster which is using FGCP protocol uses a virtual floating MAC per data interface. That means if you have port 1, so the port 1 will be having a virtual MAC. So floating MAC per data interface, not the NIC's burned in MAC. Burned in MAC means the physical MAC. So physical MAC is not valid when the device is in an HA cluster. The virtual MAC stays the same no matter which unit owns the VDOM/interface. So no matter which firewall is active or passive, but the virtual MAC stays the same. The physical MAC address will be different for both the devices, but the virtual MAC stays the same, and the active firewall will be the owner of that virtual MAC. On ownership change, the new owner assumes the same MAC and sends gratuitous ARP, so neighbors refresh their ARP tables. Okay, so the virtual MAC is the MAC that you have to take into consideration, and you have to verify for any issues like the virtual MAC is being learned by the neighboring device or neighboring switches. Then we have Heartbeat/HA-Link uses the physical MACs because they are not the and these interfaces does not participate in the HA and are only used for the heartbeats. So HA links or the heartbeat links, they use the physical MACs and they are internal to the cluster and doesn't affect the upstream devices. Then what happens when a VDOM moves? VDOM moves means due to some issue or due to a device failure or a manual movement. What is the layer 2 impact? The virtual MAC for each moved interface appears on a different switch port. How? For example, this is our FortiGate FGT1 and this is second FGT. Both the FGT are connected to a switch. This is a switch and this is a switch. Okay, this is a switch. I am explaining you what happens, how the MAC moves on FortiGate. These devices are connected via HA-Link. This firewall is active. This is secondary or primary and secondary. The virtual MAC for each moved interface appears on a different switch port. Currently this is port 1. Virtual MAC is, let's say, E1 something hexadecimal. Now when this device moves or a failover occurs, this will become secondary, this will become primary. During this movement, this virtual MAC E1 will shift from here to this interface E1 because this device is the primary device in the cluster. So the virtual MAC for each moved interface appears on a different switch port. Means, so this MAC address earlier will be learned on this, now this will move to this. So now you will start receiving or you will get a ARP entry for E1 MAC address from switch 2. instead of switch 1. The virtual MAC for each moved interface appears on a different switch port. The new owner emits GARP. Switches update CAM tables and routers update ARP. So when this MAC address is moved, FortiGate sends a GARP request. GARP is gratuitous ARP. Like we are actively telling the neighbor, like my MAC address is this, please update your table. So based on this GR packet, switch 2 will update the MAC address table or the CAM table on its memory, and then accordingly flow will start. Typically, a few seconds of convergence on some networks, or bigger impact if your switches have strict port security or sticky MAC. So if your devices are having switch port security enabled, or they are restricted to a specific MAC, in those cases you might have issues. So I will suggest to add these MAC addresses into your switch port security on both the devices if you have switch port security, or disable the switch port security if you have. Generally I have not seen switch port security on within a data center. It may be there, may not be there, but generally it's not there. So I'm telling you all the possible changes that occurs whenever there is a failover within the virtual cluster or a standard HA. Layer 3 session. If session pickup is enabled and the traffic type is supported, most existing TCP/UDP flows keep running. That means we don't expect any issues whenever a failover occurs if session pickup is enabled. But some apps rely on specific sessions. There might be a slight interruption for a few seconds until the application restarts the session or creates a new connection, until new connection, because existing session may not work depending on the type of application. If session pickup is disabled, all the existing sessions reset and reconnect. So if session pickup is disabled under HA configuration, then you will have an impact, because all the connections has to be created newly and the previous sessions will get disconnected. So it's good to have session pickup enabled under HA cluster configuration. Routing protocols, OSPF or BGP inside that VDOM re-establish on the new owner, and timers and peer settings determine the hit. That means OSPF, BGP and other routing protocols, they will re-establish their neighborship. So there might be a minor flap on your router neighborship depending on how fast, depending on the timers that are configured for the routing protocols. IPsec SSL VPN, on that VDOM relocate and peers may briefly renegotiate. So you need to see routing protocols renegotiate and IPsec tunnels also renegotiate. LACP port channels, HA does not make one aggregate span both units. So HA unit links should terminate on a stack MLAG that accepts the MAC. That means even for the lag, for example, FortiGate is having a lag interface. So this lag is always established between the devices. So there will not be any impact. This is a switch. This is a switch. So LACP is always established between the device. So there is a specific configuration which allows FortiGate to establish a LACP even if it is standby. So if you are not using that, then LACP or aggregate will only be active or up on the primary, and after the failover it becomes active on the secondary as well. But if you have allow LACP on secondary, then both the lags are up and active at all the times. Production checklist. Whenever you are doing some HA failover, HA configuration, what are the production checklist? As I explained, use this to avoid your surprises. Enable sessions sync/pickup enable as explained. Allow MAC moves on access or aggregation switch. Confirm GARP acceptance, like you are receiving an GR from the FortiGate. Avoid cross-unit LACP. Cross-unit LACP means this is a FortiGate, this is a FortiGate, switch, and avoid these kind of LACP. Okay, so instead FortiGate supports these LACP better. But even this is supported if you have like Cisco ACI or the devices whichever supports between the devices legs. So in those cases it's supported, but otherwise make it a straight leg rather than a cross unit LACP. Build separate bundle units per unit into a switch stack or MLAG. Or MLAG means something like ACI port channel or MLAG multi-lag aggregate. Make timer SAM, OSPF, BGP, VPN, DPD keep alive, tuned for fast recovery during the HA scenarios. Uniform firmware config across units. This we know because without this HA is not going to form. Test window. Continuous ping through each VNOM. Move VDOM ownership. Simulate failover and test. Packet capture on upstream switch/router to see GARP like you received the GARP packet from the second device or from the new primary. Check get a system HA status and logs for vCluster ownership change. Verify session continuity, one long-lived TCP flow, one UDP flow, one VPN. So this is like a good checklist for you. How to test, how to verify HA, what are the changes expected because of an HA. Now, coming back, how to enable virtual clustering. We talked what is virtual clustering, what are the production checklist for virtual clustering, how the MAC address works on a virtual clustering or a standard HA. Now, how to enable how to enable virtual clustering. This is the configuration for a standard HA. This part. Okay. So config system HA. Then you have to define a group name, mode of the HA, set mode, active passive, heartbeat interface. Let's say I have this FortiGate. I will take this scenario. Okay. Now here heartbeat interface is the interface. Heartbeat interface is the interface between the FortiGates. So this is port 4 or P4. Okay. P4. Then we have HA management interface, dedicated HA management interface. So this configuration is management interface reservation. If you see from the GUI, management interface reservation. Whenever you are doing a management interface reservation, this interface or the IP address of the management interface is not synced between the primary and secondary, and both the FortiGates in the standard HA or virtual clustering, they can have a different IP for managing them, so that you can access both the device simultaneously. And if you don't have dedicated HA management interface, then you only will be able to access the primary because there will be a virtual MAC for all the interfaces. Okay, so this is the configuration of standard HA. Now, on top of standard HA, what you have to do is you have to enable vCluster status enable. That means virtual clustering status enable. Once you enable the virtual clustering, you have to create two virtual cluster because this firewall will be a virtual cluster 1 and this will be virtual cluster 2. Virtual cluster 1 and virtual cluster 2, assume. Okay. Now, virtual cluster 1 added one, which VDOM, corp and root. I have just created two VDOMs. So corp VDOM and root VDOM will stay active on this way. Okay. Added 2 on the virtual cluster 2, I have a VDOM B2B This is a B2B, my business or any other VDOM here. So my corporate, my route management, my back-to-back connectivity or back-to-back VDOM, something to my office network, I just gave this name. Okay. Now, so when you are under this virtual clustering, you define the VDOM, set VDOM, set VDOM. Okay, clear? So only this part is the virtual clustering. Like on top of standard HA, you add the virtual clustering, set virtual cluster status enable, and then the VDOMs that you have to define. Once this is done, that means your virtual clustering is configured. This part is the virtual clustering. This is standard HA. So virtual clustering on top of standard HA is like both device will be in active standby, but VDOMs can move or can be active on one or the other device. So corp root 2 VDOMs active on V1 and one VDOM active on V2. Okay. How it will be shown when you check in the GUI, you will have virtual cluster 1. Under virtual cluster 1, which device is active? So my active device is this primary. This is primary for these two VDOMs, corp root. As I mentioned in here, corp root is active or the VDOMs assigned. So this device, my first device, 50, for example, this serial number, this will have these two devices as primary. Okay. My virtual cluster 2, under virtual cluster 2, my primary device is the other device, second device in the cluster, and this VDOM will be the active VDOM. So the device number, this device, second device will be primary for this VDOM, and the first device will be primary for these two VDOMs. So any traffic for these two VDOMs will be handled by the first device, and any traffic for this VDOM will be handled by the second device. So this is how the virtual clustering works. Now you can have a different priority, or you can configure the priority. If you change the priority of this device from 128, so here the higher priority becomes the primary. Higher priority becomes the primary device, and after going into the virtual cluster configuration, if you change this priority, you may move these VDOMs as active standby between these devices by using the priority. Higher priority becomes the primary inside the virtual clustering. The key CLI commands for troubleshooting, like get system HA status to check cluster health, diagnose system HA status, a detailed HA information, and diagnose system HA checksum to verify the sync between the devices. So they are like important commands. Apart from this, we have some more commands, like a good command is diag system HA history read. HA history read. So diag system HA history read gives a history of all the flaps or interfaces or any changes, any movement from active to secondary, primary to secondary, or any monitoring interfaces going down. So all those logs or event will be viewed or can be viewed when you use this command, diag system HA history read. So this is also a good command, and you should always see diag debug crash log read. In case of any issues, we should always also verify the crash logs for any issues if there are any crash logs due to any software or bug. Okay. Troubleshooting tips or the things we have to take care is the firmware version must match, interface mapping must be identical, check VDOM assignments, they should be proper. And now it's lab time. Here I am with the device and our lab. The most interesting or the part which I always like is the labs, because during the lab we see the practical how we can configure it, we achieve it, and labs or the real experience on the devices makes learning more interesting while getting a real feel of the issue or the concept we are learning. Now here I have two FortiGates. As I had explained, I have got two FortiGate. I have got two FortiGate FGT1 and FGT2. I need to configure them in a standard HA with virtual clustering. Standard HA with virtual clustering. When I say virtual clustering, so what I have is I have three VDOMs. I have three virtual VDOMs, okay, in my devices, and I have to make these two virtual domains active on this device and this be active on this device. My first device FGT1 is 50 and this is 55, just to identify based on the serial number. Okay, sorry, 50 and 505. So it's 50 and 50 and 50 and it's 50 and 505. It's 50 and 505. Now you can see here my virtual clustering is already configured. Now I will show you how to configure it from the beginning. If we have to go under config system HA and we have to do so. So under so you can see config system HA, this is the part of the configuration, and the vCluster enable and the VDOMs. Do you know how to disable the virtual clustering on an existing setup? So let me first show you disable so that you know how to disable as well. I have to do set vCluster status disable and that's it, done. Sorry, so system HA. You can see virtual clustering is disabled. Now if I go to the device on the GUI, there should not be a virtual clustering. I see the standard HA, primary being this device, secondary being this device, while on the other device, if I go under system HA, there is no virtual clustering. Okay, so what we have learned just now is how to disable virtual clustering. Sorry, disable virtual clustering. Disable virtual cluster. So what you have to do is you just have to do set virtual cluster status disable. This might have impact in your production network, so make sure you disable any virtual clustering during a maintenance window and after careful planning. So to disable, set virtual cluster status disable. This I told you because I had my virtual clustering already enabled. So how like you can disable, I just told you. So now we have our virtual clustering disabled. Now I have to configure the virtual clustering. Config system HA, or even you can do from the GUI. Let me make it easier for you. Edit And you can see here the VDOM partitioning. You have to select VDOM partitioning. VDOM partitioning, by default, there will be a virtual cluster 1 and you have to create one more virtual, sorry, you have these two VDOMs, B2B, Corp and Root. And yeah, most important thing is, if you have virtual cluster enabled, then the management VDOM cannot be moved. That point I missed during the slides. So the management VDOM cannot be moved to a second one. Okay. Now I have these two VDOMs. Monitor interface I don't need to configure. Okay. So now I have 1 and 2 virtual clusters. The two VDOMs on the first virtual cluster, one VDOM on the second, and click OK. That's it. Virtual clustering is configured. Okay. If you notice here, the primary for these two VDOMs is this device, and even for this it's the same device. So that means all the VDOMs are currently active on the same device. So what we have to do is, for this device here we have to change the priority and make it higher. Once you do that, now these should be different. Now these two VDOMs are primary on 550 and this VDOM is primary on 505. So within the virtual clustering, you can change the priority to see or to switch over the VDOMs between the device. This is how we configure it from the GUI. So what you have to do is, under standard HA, you have to just like edit and enable VDOM partitioning. Once you enable VDOM partitioning, then virtual clustering is enabled. And same for the CLI. As I told you, you have to do config system HA. So you can see here, set virtual clustering enabled again, and the VDOMs are assigned. Priority is defined by this. By default, the priority of a virtual cluster for a device is 128. So within the virtual cluster, the higher priority becomes the master or the primary for that particular VDOM. That's it. This is how to configure virtual clustering on the device. And that's FortiGate virtual clustering in a nutshell. High availability plus better hardware utilization by assigning VDOMs across both units. If this video helped, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more Fortinet tips, and drop your questions or experiences with virtual clustering in the comments. I would love to hear how you are using it. Thanks everyone for watching.